Hey everybody, and welcome back to Ready Steady Play.
Hey guys.
Michael and I have just come back from Essen. We are completely exhausted and totally tired. So if you're wondering where the Edge Dawnfall co-op videos went, they went away because we had some technical difficulties.
They went to dreamland.
We had some technical difficulties in Essen, and I've been incredibly busy getting drunk and playing board games. So they will be resuming very, very shortly. But in the meantime, we just wanted to record this update because something has happened.
Something has happened?
Yes.
Something's happened.
Here's what's happened. I had a bunch of Kickstarter stuff arrive, and then I had more Kickstarter stuff arrive, and I was like still
I had some
videos. And then
I had some Kickstarter stuff arrive.
And then we went to Essen and bought a lot of games. Not actually that many, to be fair. We were quite reasonable, I thought, compared to some other people.
To see other people like.
Yeah. There were people that were like leaving within half an hour of the place of Essen opening with just shopping carts.
There was like bags carrying on their head, juggling. There was like, my word, they've literally shopped till they dropped.
Yeah, and in record time. But we were flying, so we had to keep it sort of vaguely reasonable, but we still bought a lot of games. And now we've got an enormous amount of games. So I thought what we would do is, because we've got sort of a schedule that we keep to, and there's games in the schedule and stuff like that, but now we've got so many, and there's some stuff in the schedule that can't be changed, or it could be vaguely moved around. But my point is that what we'd like to hear from you is, what do you want to see? So we're going to show you some options, and then you leave a comment below and let us know whether or not this is something you're interested in.
Seems legit.
Yeah, because some of the stuff is now a bit old, and maybe it's too late. Maybe you don't want to see it anymore. Maybe you had the chance to play it yourself, and you're less interested. I don't know. I'm hoping that, you'd like to see us mess it up.
Because we're good at that.
We're good at that. Check this out. This came a while ago. I still haven't had a chance to play it. It's the Brass Birmingham Deluxe Edition.
Ooh, that looks snazzy.
This was a Kickstarter. Oh, it's so snazzy. It's so snazzy. It's really, really nice. And I'm so glad to have the Deluxe Edition. This is the follow-up to Brass Lancashire. And it is the sort of the newer version. And it's not they're different games. Be clear, they also did a deluxe update of Brass Lancashire that came with this as well, but I didn't back that because I've got the old copy of Brass Lancashire, which we're not going to play on the channel, but we might play this. So if you would like to see this, then, let us know.
That would be cool. So, my one I've got over here is I've got Discover Lands Unknown. This is quite funky.
Yeah, this is a new game from FFG. It's sort of like it's a survival game. You're surviving in the wilderness. It's sort of like an action management kind of game, I think. We don't really know a lot about it.
Exploration, go and explore.
Yeah, you've got
what's out there.
I think you've got like stamina points that allow you to take actions, and you're revealing tiles and sort of doing stuff. I understand it's reasonably light, but the unique thing about Discover Lands Unknown is that the game design is kind of
unique.
Exactly. So they created a computer that could sort of create versions of this that worked, and then created many different permutations, and each box is a separate seed. So this is going to be this is going to have a different combination of stuff. There's like 36 characters, but you're only going to get around 12 in here, and that 12 will have been decided by this algorithm. So it's not randomized because you might get a sort of unplayable combination, but it's sort of intelligently randomized by an AI.
Yeah.
Or a computer algorithm.
But it also means that potentially no two games are the same.
Yeah, so there is some interesting questions about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we thought we'd play it on the channel. I think it comes out like this week, so we'll probably try and put this out ASAP, but, we'll probably do this one, so come back and check in for that.
I'm excited about this one. I think this one could be really cool.
I think it could be really fun. We've spoken to a bunch of people who played it at Essen. They did have demo tables set up, and a bunch of people bought it and played it too, and we've had very mixed reviews come in. Yes. So we are excited to see for ourselves what we think of it.
What we think. Cool.
The next one I've got down here, there's a huge stack, and I didn't put them in any specific order. So this was something I picked up at Essen. It's Railroad Inc. I got both boxes. This is a roll and write game.
Who does not love drawing trains?
Exactly. You're rolling dice with train tracks on, and then you have to draw them onto a piece of paper to try and create tracks and roads. And in the blue box here, you also get bonus lakes and rivers that you have to draw down.
Nice.
And then here in the red box, you've got like meteorites and stuff that come and destroy shit.
Destroy?
Yeah, exactly. Destroy! So you can combine them as well to sort of make like an Uber Railroad Inc. game. So if you guys would like to see us do some scribbling, then let us know.
Disclaimer, I can't draw. Not even straight lines. I have this.
Right, this was something I wasn't going to buy, and then I did.
An impulse purchase.
So these are all things that I just bought because I like the look of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one that I was sort of umming and ahhing about because I'm a big X-Wing fan. I like the X-Wing miniatures game a lot. I play it very competitively, and I've been doing that for years. And then Ares Games were like, we're doing the Battlestar Galactica one. And my initial reaction was, well, I've seen the series Battlestar Galactica. I've not seen the very original one from like the 80s or 70s.
I don't know.
But I've seen
talking to me about sci-fi, dude.
I've seen the new one from Sci-Fi series. But we're not going to talk too much about that. What I am going to say is that I don't remember a lot of starfighters in it. So I was like, how are they going to... Because this looks like an expandable game. That
could be quite intriguing then.
So where are they going to get the other starfighters from? Anyway, I was talking to a friend of mine who is also very, very into X-Wing, and he was like, the advanced rules for this are incredible, and I think it might be better than X-Wing. And I was like,
wow.
Challenge accepted. I will have a copy, and I will tell you. So I'm actually
challenge accepted.
Well, he said there were all these cool rules for inertia, and you can actually like fire your guns, and the force of the guns will move your ship backwards. And I was like, that is awesome. So I'm really keen to check this out. So we might play this on the channel. Let us know if you're interested in seeing it.
Wow, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I do love the series. I mean, we won't talk. Let's not get into it because that's a whole conversation. Let's keep this video going.
Yes. What have you got next, dude?
The next thing I've got here on top of my pile, I didn't put these in any order. This is not actually from Essen. This is a Kickstarter I received recently. The King's Guild. This is sort of like a sort of light tableau builder, is what I understand about it, and it's got a bit of resource management. You actually probably know the rules to this better than I do, Michael.
Yes. Well, that's pretty much it.
Well, I say tableau builder, but what that means is you're sort of putting out things in front of you and unlocking actions as you put them out. You're definitely building buildings. That's about all I know.
Yeah, you're collecting resources, and there's one of 3 actions you can do. It's a very simplistic gameplay. I can't quite remember off the top of my head.
We've spent a lot of time learning games at Essen for the last 4 days.
But I read this before I went, and I was like, you can do one of 3 things. It's very simple and straightforward, and I remember thinking, oh, this isn't too heavy.
I will like this.
Yes.
So I backed this because I liked the fantasy theme, and I liked building stuff, and I thought it looked like something that you and I could play and enjoy. But whether or not it makes it onto the channel, you decide. Let us know.
Say yes. I have an expansion as part of my next one. Ta-da!
Yes, 7 years in the making. 7 Wonders Armada.
Oh, I like the theme there with the 7.
It's uncanny. It's like they timed it. So, 7 Wonders was it is a card drafting game. You're building a civilization, and you draft cards from hands that go around the table. You've also got a wonder that you can build instead of drafting cards that unlock powers and economical stuff and resources and things. And it's a classic. It's very much like sort of a modern classic, although it's quite an old game now. It's got 3 expansions. It's got leaders, which add leaders that you can draft in a separate drafting round. It's got cities, which add more cards to be drafted to the main drafting event. And then it's got Tower of Babel, which adds 2 sort of mini expansions. One is where you, instead of drafting cards, you can work on the Tower of Babel, unlocking powers that you might want to use as a player. Or you can, in the other expansion, is that there's a sort of a main project that comes out every age. The game takes place over 3 ages, and then it's finally scored. And it adds a project to each age that you can contribute to, and if you don't contribute, you will be punished. And if you do contribute, you will be rewarded. So those are all very interesting. I don't like the Tower of Babel expansion very much, but I do like the events expansion in that box. So
I think I haven't played with the Tower of Babel expansion, but I have played with the other expansions.
Leaders and Cities. Mm-hmm. I mean, Leaders and Cities are pretty much, they're very easy to add in, and they bring a lot to the table. So I think they're quite nice expansions. Armada adds another board, which is a seafaring board. It adds ships. In the game you do combat rounds, and you can build up military power. And this adds now power, sea warfare. And you've got on this separate board, what it does is it's a sort of a simultaneous thing, which is good, because I was concerned that it would give you another thing to do instead of drafting. And one of the reasons I don't like the Tower of Babel expansion is that
it gets rid of it. You just got one or the other.
Yeah, so it's like I could draft a card, which I need to do to score points and win the game, but I can also now give up a card to build my wonder. I can give up a card to do this. I can give up a card to do this. And there's too many things you can do. You have to give up a card to do, and in the end you just don't do any of them because it's better to just build the cards.
Yeah.
So what I liked about this was that it allows you to do things when you build certain kinds of cards. So it gives you more interesting choices, because it's like, oh, I do really want this building to continue this thing I've got going on over here, but if I build this other building, which might not be as good for my player board, it will help me advance in the sea area that I want to advance in.
Yeah, because there's 4 different areas, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Well, one per sort of card type. So I was really excited by this expansion, and if you want to see us do a Seven Wonders series, then let us know.
It's cool. Like,
we'll play with all the expansions.
Bit of a new twist on an old school classic.
Yeah, exactly. So if you need to breathe some more life into your Seven Wonders, here is a thing that can do that for you.
Cool.
All right. This one showed up right before we left for Essen. We actually played it at Essen. Western Legends!
Hit him, cowboy. I absolutely love this game.
So we played it twice and at Essen, and I've got mixed feelings about it, but you fell in love with it.
Yeah.
What we didn't do at Essen was play the full Kickstarter edition, which comes with 2 mini expansions. We just played the core set, and we played with the basic rule set as well, which means we didn't use personal character goals. That doesn't really mean anything to you, but that's fine. What it means is that there's a lot more content in here for us to explore, and I sure would like to do a series on it.
Hell yeah! If this is something you'd like to see, then I would totally be on board, because who doesn't love riding horses in the Wild West?
Yep. For those of you who want the elevator pitch, this is a game where there are many, many different kinds of ways to win. What it sort of presents to you is many paths to victory, and you can follow these different paths which are very thematic. So you can be a prospector, you can be a villain, you can be a good guy, you can be a villain who becomes a good guy, or a good guy who becomes a villain. You can be
so
a
many different
cattle wrangler or a cattle rustler. There's all these sort of different kinds of things, and they all fit together. You can duel each other, you can play poker, you can rob banks, you can go
mining.
I said that.
Oh, did you?
I said prospecting. Keep up.
Sorry, you said the big path word.
So, and there's bandits everywhere that you can kill. So
whilst being chased by a sheriff.
Whilst being chased by the sheriff if you're a villain. So there's all these different cool sort of things that are going on, and it gives you all these different flavors and stuff. So, and for those of you who are hobby gamers, it feels like Merchants and Marauders, but with less downtime, and it's a bit faster as well. You can actually choose how long you want the game to be as well. So that's interesting, and we'd really like to put that on the channel too. So if you're interested in Western Legends, let us know. Yeah.
I like that. I like that option that you can make it as quick as or as short as you like, because then that depends on the people that you've got playing or the amount of time that you've got to play it, and I like that variation on it. Adjustable, good word. Now, the next one I've got is actually a Kickstarter I backed.
Yes.
Which is very rare, but because I'm a bit picky. But I'm a sucker for a detective story. And so...
It's not detective, it is the other one.
A detective story?
Yeah, but detective is a game.
I know it is, but a detective story.
What's the game, Michael?
It is... Da, da, da.
Chronicles of Crime.
Which is the worst reveal ever.
Everybody knew it was that for minutes before you said it.
Look. Da-da! And I got this nice little sleeve because I'm one of the backers.
9,108 backers. That's loads.
Alright.
Loads backers. That's good.
I know, it is good.
Popular.
So yeah, I'm as I say, I'm a sucker for a detective story. This is all about trying to go around London and solving crimes.
Yes.
You're all playing against each other, but you solve crimes by looking at crime scenes, and you
use an app on your phone.
Use an app on your phone.
And you can stick it in these little glasses it comes with if you want, or you can just look at your phone.
And usually only have a certain amount of time to look at certain scenes, so you usually have one person describing the scene to everybody else, so you can save time and therefore get more points at the end once you solve it. And it also comes with these Funky 2 expansions. Now,
you can't actually play the expansions yet.
Because the app hasn't been developed.
Yeah, so those will be coming in the new year, I think. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, you can play through the campaign in the core box.
Yep.
And so the way it kind of works is that the crimes are all story-driven, and they're all basically the same. So much like if you ever played Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, or if you saw our playthrough of Mythos Tales, which is the same thing but Cthulhu, it is a self-contained story, and there are branching paths, and there are different ways of getting to the end, and depending on how you went and how efficient you were, you may get a bigger or lower score, but ultimately the story kind of remains the same every time. And that was the complicating factor for us, because we were like, if we show you this story, the story will be spoiled.
Yes. And so, really, the reason why we're showing this now is, would you like to see this, or would it be...
It's interesting for us, yeah. It's an interesting question for us, because we're like, have you played it? If you have, would you be interested to see us do it and see how we cope?
And if you've not played it and you wouldn't like to know, therefore,
yeah, would a lot of you not watch it because
of potential spoilers?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how many crimes there are actually in the core set, but I think there's at least like 4 or 5, right?
Oh, easily, yes.
So we would be spoiling one. There's a tutorial, which I don't think we'd actually film because that's probably not that interesting. So it'd probably be like scenario 1.
There's four different scenarios in each of the expansions, so I think there's at least 4 within there.
Depending on how the schedule works out, we might not even get to it before the expansions become available.
Yeah.
And then we could do Noir or Welcome to Redview. I don't know if you guys would be more or less interested in that. Yeah. So let us know what you think of us doing Chronicles of Crime.
Cool.
Alright, the next thing I picked up here on the top of the pile, this was a bit of a darling at Essen. Oh no.
I know how to say this.
Yeah, Michael taught me, and I've immediately blanked on it the minute I picked it up.
Only because I've been there.
Teotihuacan?
Yes!
Teotihuacan, City of Gods.
Teotihuacan.
This is Daniel Tashini, who will probably know mostly from Tzolk'in, the Mayan calendar, but this is his new game, and it's got like a sort of a modular board. It's a heavy euro. You've got to like sort of adapt to the board as it changes. And I'm looking at the box and instead of at the camera, but it's a pretty seriously heavy euro. So we would sort of play through it and talk about it and try and make it as entertaining as possible. But if you'd like to see how this works and you'd like to see us get into the mechanics and discuss that, then Teotihuacan is something we could do.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. And if you really want to go see the real place, it's just outside Mexico City. Selling my travel agent skills there. It's cool, by the way. So the next one I've got is The Forgotten City. Now this looks really cool. On the back it looks really pretty. It's very colourful.
So this was one that another impulse for me because it was from the Korean teams. There's a lot of game designers and developers and publishers who come over to Essen from Korea and from Japan and from China, and they bring their games, and it's a great opportunity to get those games that you might not normally have access to, or you'd have to pay through the nose and shipping fees to get. Mm-hmm. And Forgotten City, it just kind of resonated with me because it was like so. And here's where, maybe the my creative soul gets ahead of my pragmatic gamer elements because I don't really know a lot about the mechanics. I just read that it was about sort of having dreams and spirits would show you around and the art looked really pretty. Cool. And I was like, ooh, it's a Japanese game about... It's actually not Japanese. I think it's from Taiwan.
It is from Taiwan.
Yes.
Taipei.
But I like the sort of the mythology around the spirits in the Far East and that kind of stuff. So
it's a very cool theme.
I was just like, and it sounded kind of nice and kind of chill. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know what to expect from it. But if that's something you'd like to see, then we're
it's about a 60-minute playthrough.
And again, we might play it. If you guys are like, well, what is that? We don't want to see it. We might play it and be like, this is incredible. We have to show it. But if you're not interested, then maybe it never comes on the schedule. So who knows? Also, check this out. What is this about?
What is this warning? What is this warning? What's it warning me about?
If you know what this warning is, leave a comment.
Perfect, thank you.
this was actually my top pick. This is the first game I bought at Essen Spiel, and I was a little irrationally excited about it for reasons I can't really explain, other than the very first thing I said when I got the game this is an expansion for was, why doesn't it have this? It's the Forgotten Folk for Caverna.
Wow. Now I love Caverna.
We both like Caverna. It's very chill. We just have some beers. We build a cave.
Mm-hmm.
We dig you a hole.
We dig you a hole.
We get some goats in, and it's it's really fun. So this just adds, I think, some asymmetrical player powers. It adds just different races you can play as. You
can get some donkeys.
And what's really cool about Caverna the Forgotten Folk is that it's actually designed by Alex Wilbur, who was just a fan of Caverna, who made it as a fan expansion on BGG. And then Lookout Games and Uwe Rosenberg sort of reached out, and they were talking about developing it, and then Uwe Rosenberg was like, I will get involved, and then he was too busy, and then Alex Wilbur developed the whole product pretty much. I don't know how much Uwe actually helped him, but Uwe's name is on the box, so he's obviously signed off on it.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. I think that's a really cool thing. So it's an example of a fan putting in the effort and making something that they wanted to see come into the world. And I like that kind of sort of creative energy.
That creative
stuff. So that was really
combo.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it was something I wanted to see as well. So I'm really glad someone actually, made the effort and got it done.
It looks cool. I can't wait to see the different factions.
So we haven't played Caverna on the channel. I actually, Caverna was something I had in my collection for a long time before I came to London, and then I sold it when I moved to London, and then I rebought it again with the intention of putting it on the channel, and it never made it on the schedule. Mm-hmm. So if you'd like us to try and get Caverna on the schedule so you can see the Forgotten Folk, then let us know.
Again, it's another updating a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of like breathing some new life into a classic. But Caverna is a game that I still play and get out and play. I find it's a very good sort of balance. I prefer it to Agricola. It's totally a personal choice.
Cool. Linked again to Uwe Rosenberg. My next one is from him as well.
Oh, yes. It's Reykholt.
Reykholt.
And Reykholt is a game where we're playing as people growing veggies and stuff.
I was just looking at the back and I saw this. Who doesn't love putting veggies in crates?
Yeah. So this is.
There you go. Look at that at the top. There's your carrots and your strawberries and your lettuces.
So this is set in Iceland. I think it's Iceland.
It is Iceland. You are correct.
They have some kind of sort of special farming methods out there that tourists come to look at. I don't really know what's going on with it.
In real life?
Yeah, this is a real thing. And so the premise of this is that you are one of those farmers and you're fulfilling specific orders to meet the needs of tourists.
Cool.
But I understand it's quite light. I think it's a lot lighter than, say, Caverna and some of the other games.
I do like the sound of this. I do.
It's pretty chill. I mean, it says 30 to 60 minutes on the box. That's probably a lie, but aren't they
Fibs.
all? But I trust Uwe. I've pretty much liked everything he's done. Although I haven't played Nussfjord yet. Nussfjord.
I don't think I've played that.
You haven't played that, but. This one appealed to me because it's sort of slightly lighter and also the veggie containers.
Who doesn't love a crate? Oh, they're mushrooms at the back.
Well, we like mushrooms.
I do like mushrooms. Definitely a fan.
Mushrooms, a divisive vegetable. Leave a comment below on your mushroom stance.
Everyone's going to be like...
And also whether you want to see Reykholt.
I was just going to say, if you want to see some mushrooms in a crate, that'd be great.
Mike would like to do that. But as you can see, are we halfway through the stack yet? Because there's already an enormous number of games here that we can't possibly get to in time.
Well, maybe in 2020.
But, hey, look! This is one that I picked up because I thought it looked very cool. Underwater Cities from Vladimir Suchi.
Ooh.
So we like him as a designer. We were big fans of Last Will and the Prodigals Club. So when Underwater Cities came along and I looked at it and it basically looked like terraforming Mars, but instead of Mars, it's underwater, and you've got a bit more sort of a tableau building thing going on, and you're managing these cities that require resources, but you're playing a card every round and drawing a card every round, and you've got this whole action selection thing, and then you're trying to vie for favoritism with the government. That's also a first player sort of alternating first player mechanic. So I was like, yes, Underwater Cities, let's get involved. So this is
nice.
my understanding is it's quite a bit heavier than Terraforming Mars. It's a bit longer, but I would it's delicious games. I don't think they've done a lot, so I think this is one of their first sort of ones. Right. But it's got some
I've never heard of them before.
Cool components, little domes and stuff. But I would really like to play this. So, if you want to see underwater cities, leave a comment below.
Cool. So the next one I've got is Treasure Island. So
yes.
This is also another thing that I'm quite excited about, and another exploration game.
It's sort of like Hidden Movement.
It's by Vincent Dutrait. Is that how you say it?
Mark Paquin and Vincent Dutrait.
Yeah.
It's a Matagot game. We like Matagot. They tend to put out really good stuff. We were big fans of Inish and Kemet and the those type ones. The Cyclades.
Yeah. And again, it's... I think this one's a bit lighter.
Yeah. So in this one, it's a one versus many, but it's what it is it's here's what I understand about it. It's Long John Silver, and he's hidden his treasure on the island. Treasure Island, right? And then the pirates are trying to find out where the treasure's hidden, so they're like interrogating him, and he's revealing information on the board with a compass by drawing sort of circles, and you have to kind of like figure out by where the circles overlap where the treasure is, something like that.
Yeah.
And then Long John Silver can also like come and get involved because he can sort of run away and try and stop you getting the treasure in the end as well. And it comes with like this uber piece of gamer bling, which is this plastic compass to hold the pen.
Who doesn't love an original style seafaring compass?
I think you're also moving your little pirates around the board, and you kind of have to get close to where the treasure might be. Again, I'm not super sure of the rules because I haven't actually read them, but you've all got little copies of the island as well where you can make notes and try and figure out where the treasure is. So I think, and it's a race to be the first one to find Long John Silver's treasures. Yeah. And it's a bluffing game, and it's a hidden game. So the one hidden information game, and
so the one versus many is. The one person is Long John Silver, and everyone else is the pirates trying to steal his treasure.
Yeah, but Long John Silver is like also trying to get to his treasure.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It had really good feedback, and it looked neat, and I wanted it, so I bought it.
Why not?
The next one I've got here...
That might be a cool one to see, if you like your one versus many games.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to see Treasure Island, leave a comment. Maybe like... Yeah. The next one we've got is Ceylon, and this is a tea farming game. It's a light Euro game. I think it's a sort of a...
So I would pronounce it Ceylon, I think. And I think that was the old name for Sri Lanka.
Yes, you're correct. It says on the back of the box that you're right.
Yay!
So this is... what appeals to me about this is it's sort of a middleweight Euro. It's a set collecting game. It's a tile placement game. But the tile placement it's sort of like a territory control thing. You're trying to get the best spaces. You're trying to sell off your tea to make money, I think.
Yes,
and there's
a type of tea.
Very little downtime because you can sort of play all the time. I don't really understand how that works because I haven't had a chance to go through the rules yet, but I've heard very good things about it. So I'm really interested to try it out. And it's supposedly not super duper long.
Which could be good.
It could be good, so we could get to Ceylon if... that is something that sounds interesting to you, or if you've heard of it and you want to know more.
I'm a fan of tea. I'm definitely down with that. My next one is Gugong.
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 The Forbidden City in China?
In China. So we
played this at Essen.
Managed to play this at Essen, didn't we? And it's set in China in like the... 16th century. It's part of the Ming dynasty, I believe. And you're there trying to just basically please the emperor by giving him gifts.
So what you've got all these different spaces on the board that represent different things you can do at that time in China, and they give you different points or allow you to do different things or sort of develop your player abilities. And you've got the way you take these actions is through a hand of cards that represent gifts that you're giving to the emperor. And you can only take the actions if your gift is better than the gift that was last used to purchase that action space. So you're sort of managing your hand. And if you put down a gift that's worse, you can either like try and bling it up by spending money or servants to do that. Or you can just sort of like accept that your gift was bad and not do the action at all. And it was getting sort of rave reviews, and the Kickstarters just arriving with backers. This is the retail version, not the deluxe edition.
Yep.
And we played it. We played the retail version there at Essen. We liked it a lot. We had a really good time.
We did.
And so we picked up a copy. And if you'd like to see it, we can do that for you.
That would be not a problem.
Yeah, we thought it was really fun. It did. It did take about 3 hours, but that was with teaching, and we had 5 players as well.
So I was just going to say there was quite a few of us around the table, wasn't there? So.
But we had heard it was really, really heavy, and we actually thought it was lighter than we thought it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't a lot of AP.
Pardon?
There wasn't a lot of analysis paralysis.
Correct, there wasn't. And that was something that I was quite liked about it, in the fact that there isn't much downtime between your goes, and it's even though it takes I would say quite a medium length of time to stretching towards long. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah,
because it feels quite fast paced.
Yeah. All right. So the last thing I've got down here is Blackout Hong Kong.
Ooh.
And I went to pick this up pretty much immediately at Essen because it's Essen Spiel and it's Alexander Pfister, who I really like. I always carry Oh My Goods in my back pocket to play if the opportunity comes up because it's so small and I like it. We're big fans of Great Western Trail, obviously.
I do love Great Western Trail.
So we got this straight away and we played it, and it took a very, very long time to play. It's not a super heavy game. It's not
particularly complicated.
No. It's much like many of Pfister's games. It's got a lot of sort of mechanical interactions and things that have impacts on one another. So it is a little bit of a learning curve. Like, you do have to spend some time with the rules and learning how it all works.
Exactly, and you do have to memorize what all the different things do and keep that in mind all the time.
But once you've learned the iconography and how these things work, it's actually very simple to play, but the game is very long. So we probably won't put this on the channel. What we could do is record a final thoughts on it if you guys are interested to hear our rundown of our game of it. Or if you're desperate for a playthrough, we could do it. But I'd be interested. Would you be interested in a final thoughts video without the
playthrough?
Because we're not really. I mean, we always do final thoughts because we like to talk about the experience and give you guys insight to what we thought about the game and our experience playing the game. Mm-hmm. But obviously, we're not your conventional board game reviewers. We're primarily Let's Players and rules videos. Yeah. So if you want to know about Blackout Hong Kong, that's something we could do for you because we had some thoughts on it.
Yeah, we did, and we can happily share them with you if you'd be interested.
Yep. And you're out of games over there.
I have no games left on my side, but
I've got 2 more special ones over here that I would like to reveal to you now.
Show me your first special.
My first special game is very, very heavy, and I'm currently about to hurt myself.
Uh-oh.
It arrived. This is the Nemesis core set. The basic pledge for the Nemesis Kickstarter.
Super excited.
So if you guys remember our Nemesis playthrough, if you watched it, our most popular series ever, this is now the core set that came out of the Kickstarter for that, and we would love to revisit Nemesis. We don't have any of the add-ons or anything yet, but Michael's backed it, so those will be coming at some point. If you would prefer us to wait till those arrive, we could, or
make it a bit different to the original.
But, oh my god, I've just realized. Michael, look at this. Fucking hell. I just noticed this. This is awesome.
Oh god, there's so many games.
How did I miss this? I'm on the box, dude.
No way! That's amazing!
That's awesome! We're professional people!
Rudy Steady Plays made it. One in a box.
This is how I know.
Oh, good job.
So that's awesome. Dude, that's awesome. So Nemesis is a sort of a game that we're really excited to revisit. But again, we've already done it on the channel. And look at all this stuff that we haven't done. So, do you want more Nemesis? I don't know when the add-ons are going to come because they're with Michael's Kickstarter. And they actually sent us this. There is no right way up in space. It's anti-gravity.
That's
no
right.
Gravity. But they sent this to us sort of in advance, so we probably will play it again when
everything comes through.
When everything comes through, because there'll be so much more. But if you want to see more Nemesis, that is absolutely something we can deliver. We'll also show you what's in this box in another video. So if you want to see what you've got coming for Nemesis in your core set pledge, then please do come back and join us for that, because we're going to be talking a bit about that and our experience playing the game before. And whether we thought what this resembles what we played. Because if you backed it off the back of our playthrough, you might want to know whether or not we think this looks like what we had. And the last one is something that we're definitely filming. So there's not really a lot of choice in this, but I just wanted to show you guys because I was so excited. This was actually sort of made my ass, and I got a sort of a message really late at night like, hey, are you guys at Essen? Come and see us. And I was like, intriguing, mysterious.
What do they want?
I'm excited. And I was right to be excited.
This is what we
discovered.
Discovered, yes.
This is Tainted Grail. This is the new Kickstarter coming to Kickstarter from Awaken Realms. This is Awaken Realms, obviously, of Nemesis, of
Edge of
the Edge Dawnfall, of the oh god, Essen Brain is strong. The Essen Brain is strong. Lords of Hellas. This War of Mine was a popular series as well. We did that, was their game too. Now it's with Galacta. They're doing the retail release, but originally it was an Awaken Realms Kickstarter as well. They've got Siege Storm in the pipeline as well, so lots of cool stuff coming from Awaken Realms, but this has us so excited, and we will be doing videos on this, so if you want to see it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it.
It would be a crime to miss this. This is
Michael's excited about it, so you know it's good.
It's everything I like in a board game. It's and I think everyone will love it. You'll kick yourself if you miss it. Subscribe.
It's the Fall of Avalon. It's Arthurian legend, but dark. Awaken Realms have put their own sort of twist on the story, and so if you like that stuff, please come back and join us for that. You won't regret it.
You won't regret it.
And with that, that's what we've got. That's our Essen haul.
So you know, just a few.
Yeah, and our sort of recent Kickstarter arrivals as well. There's actually some other stuff that arrived as well, which we haven't even shown you because, to be honest, we thought this was sort of enough. So let us know what you would like to see most of all. Don't say Tainted Grail because we're doing that. But anything else, let us know. And we'll see where we can put it in the schedule, and we'll try to get to it as soon as we can because... You know, we've got a schedule, but we need to steer.
But yeah, we're quite happy to. We've got some ideas about what we'd like to do, but if there's anything that you guys would specifically like to see, then we'll definitely try and prioritize that for you.
Yeah, and let us know about Blackout. Do you want to see final thoughts on Blackout? We would be quite happy to sit down and do that.
Definitely. Share the views. Share our wealth of knowledge.
All right, let's stop recording so we can go play games.
Please, can we?
So, but yes, and we'll be back with the Edge Dawnfall co-op stuff very, very soon. There'll be a Nemesis unboxing coming out as well. So,
super excited for that.
Yep. So if you are watching the Edge Dawnfall and you're like, where are the videos gone? They are coming back very soon, and there's some more cool stuff coming as well.
Yep.
So that's awesome. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see what's happening. And I've said that a bunch of times already. And also...
So really, what you need to do is subscribe.
All right, we're leaving now. We've said enough. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And to those of you that said hi to us at Essen, it was lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you all.
Also come and say hi to us, if you're at... we're going to AirCon. We've got other stuff, probably. But if you ever see us, just come up and say hi, because we love to meet people and talk about games.
See, we love waving.
We also love waving. All right, bye.